one of the things that we talk about debt cancellation here, and one of the seminars I recently went to was talking about people that were trying to build net worths of $10 million. And what was interesting about what they were saying is that there were several What things I really came across is that most people are not even preparing for their own, quote, retirement. And I don't mean that I ever feel like I'm ever going to retire, because I think I'm going to live till I'm 100 and I want to work till I'm 99, right? But there are times and situations in life where maybe a spouse gets sick or whatever, and you're forced to retire, so to speak, okay? And so what happens is that I've noticed this, and I've experienced this in my own life as my father is now into a nursing home, is that he did not prepare for the fact that those years between 80 and 90, he was still healthy enough to walk and all that kind of stuff. He should have had a free and clear house, a nice little one-story. Okay, free and clear house. And this is something you want to tell, because most of the people, the yuppies and the people in their 30s or 40s are not preparing for the inevitability of, quote, retirement. And so what you want to do is buy your retirement house now and rent it out and have your tenants pay it off by the time you get to the point where you're ready to have that little one story. I think there was a gentleman that bought a home from me on the golf course. It was an REO on the golf course in Terra Vista, $165,000. It was worth $210,000. This happened last month. He came to one of these seminars. He bought that. He's going to use it for his kids to stay in during college time, and then he has a possibility of moving into it when he's an empty nester where he doesn't need to live in a big house anymore. A nice 1,500 square foot house overlooking the golf course. Another thing that we wanted, so there's a big debt that people are not canceling. And here's what's going to happen with the big wealth transfer that's going to go on is that guess what's going to happen to the people that don't own their houses free and clear by the time they're ready to retire? They're going to have to rent from people like you if you own rental property, and your rental property be free and clear by then. Okay, and they're going to have to rent from you. And believe me, we're all living longer these days. Amen? So, all right. So you can also, so one of the biggest debts that you have is that you have a career from 20 to 60. That's a 40-year period, but you could live from 60 to 80 to 100. And that's not really your income-producing years. Those are the years between 20 and 40 and 20 and 60 is your first career. The second career you have to pay for while you're in your earning years. Okay, so it's important, and one of the big things that's involved in that is housing, shelter, food. I mean, those are the necessities of life. So my suggestion is, if you get anything out of this, buy your retirement home or your empty nester home now. Have somebody else pay it off. Okay. The second thing is college education. We've seen a lot of people take this strategy. This is great. We're working on second generation people right now where they have bought a home for, and we're doing this with our kids already know that they have a rental property set aside for them that will be paid off by the time they're of age to get into college. So they'll either have one of two things. They can go to UT and live in a free and clear house, or I can sell the house and pay for their education. Or I can buy two and have one that's paid off to pay for their education because I can sell it at that time, and I can have one where they can live in. So, I mean, these are things that are very simple. You buy a house, make one extra payment per year, and ends up being free and clear by the time they're able to go to college. Okay? And even just at modest rates, if you bought a $100,000 house, it should be worth about $150,000, $175,000. Our values here in Austin double about every 12 to 15 years through booms and busts. So if you bought a $150,000 house, it should be worth $300,000. You could sell it when they're 18. Should be enough to go ahead and take care of college education. Simple stuff, right? But not many people are doing it. Okay? All right, is anybody a potential home buyer at this point? Or okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, and this also applies to investment property, and we'll keep an eye on your emails as we go, because we'll have more. We'll continue the series of these seminars, not in such a big format, but we're also going to different branches for these seminars. We'll do real estate, we'll do a HUD foreclosure seminar, but all at basically 1 hour increments at different branches, including this one, to make it a little more convenient for people that are not so close here. Okay. All right, so for those that are buying, or those that are going to help their kids buy a home, because it's about that time. A lot of kids now, people are buying their homes when they're 20 years old with the intention of paying them off by the time they're 40. What a great way to get started. Okay? First of all, there's a measure of security. There's no lease or rent increases. And guess what we're doing right now? As a landlord, what am I doing now that they're fighting over my properties? I'm raising my rents. First time in 5 years, but now we're raising our rents. Okay, so to own it, your rent will never go up. Only the property taxes can go up, but your payments, if you have a 30-year fixed, will always remain the same. You're going to pay it back in lesser value dollars. This includes rental property, value that is eventually paid off, okay, and eventually own it free and clear, erasing that debt so you don't have to pay the monthly payment. One thing that's nice too about eliminating mortgage debt is it costs money to make money. I know as a businessman it costs me money to make money. So for every dollar I net, it costs me $2 to make. But I have to take that net dollar and pay a mortgage. Okay? Well, by eliminating the mortgage debt, it'll take less amount of income to pay for your housing expense. And housing is a requirement, right?